with us. We want to touch base right now with an important management. The Greenlam Industries handed in their Q1 report card. It's been an okay set, I would say. Tad bit subdued. Revenues were flat. Profits were down 45%. EBITDA was also down. Let's try and understand what exactly transpired in the quarter gone by. We have on board the management, Mr. Saurabh Mittal, the MD CEO of the company. Mr. Mittal, good morning and thank you so much for joining us. I just want to understand what is the reason behind this tepid set of numbers. Is it the realty and real estate construction slowdown which seems to have hit your numbers as well?
Actually not. So, if you've seen the results, or we've mentioned this on the notes, we migrated from SAP ECC to SAP HANA in the month of April, and the migration kind of disturbed operations for about 2 weeks in the month of April. So it's really the overhang of that which has impacted the business. Otherwise, we would have grown. And while we did pull up production in the month of May and June, but many of those sales could not be booked. So it's really an aberration because of the system migration. So while obviously the macro is difficult and real estate situation is not what we want to be, but as far as our results are concerned, it's due to the operational challenges we faced in the month of April, which impacted our results.
Since you're saying it's a one-off reason, it's a one-off factor which impacted your numbers this time around because of the switch you made.
Right.
But tell us about the overall picture that is playing out in the industry, because a slowdown across sectors, especially when it comes to consumer-related goods and services, etc., is really something that is alarming the market in a big way, right? So if you could also give us an understanding of how the demand has been for your products, for your things that you have on offer. Has there been any impact or any trend that you've been spotting?
Sure. Well, so it's known that by and large the markets are difficult. So if you see our business, about 45% of revenues comes in from the international market, and the 55% comes in from the domestic market. So despite the operational difficulty we had in Q1 due to the migration, our domestic businesses still managed to grow, while the export business suffered a larger setback. So from our business in particular, despite the market challenges, we still think we should be able to grow this financial year. We should still be able to do a 10 to 12% kind of a revenue growth. And the market there's still a large opportunity for people like us, because there's also a gradual shift from the unorganized players to the organized players. We have newer product categories. We are aggressively expanding our reach. We're also working with a lot of specifiers. So I think we should be okay, despite the market challenges.
Mr. Mittal, this is Cheryl also coming in. You just mentioned that you are confident about delivering 10 to 12% growth in the laminate segment in FY20. How do you look to achieve this target?
Well, one, we are adding capacity. We should get into stream by Q3, and the target will obviously be achieved by doing better in the domestic market and in the international market. And our resources are on ground. We have a robust supply chain. We have a very great product range, and so yes, I think the combination of these factors, added capacity, robust supply chain, good product range, adequate feet on the street. So I think all this put together, we should be able to do our revenue numbers for this financial year.
If you look at your veneers business, there's been a good uptick in terms of revenue. Can you tell us how your niche products and offerings have been performing over the last couple of months, especially Q1, and when are they likely to achieve a break even when it comes to their EBITDA performance?
Well, so if you look at the veneer business, the veneer vertical comprises of the decorative veneer panel business, the engineered wood floor, and the door business. So in the quarter gone by, the veneer, in the veneer category, the door business and the flooring business grew well because of the low base. The decorative veneer business had a degrowth, in this quarter. Again, largely due to the migration and the, operational disturbance we had. So I think, like I said earlier, in this category also, we should be able to do a, 10-12%, maybe even a 15% growth in financial year 20 in the entire decorative veneer and the allied category. And on the EBITDA, I think overall, as a company, I think if the top line does grow at a 10-12%, EBITDA should also be stable versus what it was last year, or rather grow from that base.
Mr. Mittal, what are your long-term plans for the company? Also, how you, given the push from the government in the real estate sector, in the housing sector, so how do you see that pan out for your company?
Well, it should be very positive for us because we have several products which are, which can, which go along with the, government's push into the, housing for all and the push in the overall real estate sector. The buying habits of the real estate sector is also undergoing a change, and several of our new categories are more like a supply install model, like the ready-made doors, which is factory finished and installed on the site, like the engineered wood flooring, we're the only producers in the country. We also have newer product categories in laminates, like the facade laminates, bathroom partition products. These are all supply installed products, and this is helping the category, expand, and a lot of developers, builders, and even the real estate, companies do look at these products. And so in the past there was a lot of on-site carpentry, which is gradually changing to factory finished products. So I think we're quite well poised to take advantage of this, shift in the buying pattern. And we also have commodity products in our range, which is more mass, especially in the laminate segment. So I think we're pretty well prepared in terms of our capacities, in terms of our product programs, to take advantage of the potential revival or the growth of the real estate sector.
Well, great chatting with you. Thank you so much for giving us clarity about your Q1 performance, what has impacted it, and for telling us what the plan ahead is. Well, the stock, however, continues to take a beating in trade. It's down 4.2%. However, the SAP implementation is something that has distorted the quarter, says the management. Let's move right on then.